partly in the office courtesy of the judiciary. He must remember that.
Right, so doggedly following that, we had previously his pronouncement, or really his statement, saying that he has been given the mandate by Kenyans to the sword, and he can use it every which way he wants to thwart, so to speak, the way he was putting it, whatever impediment that is coming his way. But we had other, pundits coming to the fore and saying, that particular sword is not for decapitation of Kenyans, but it is for, the protection of the constitution in the first place. You talk about the judiciary and the judges that were not installed by Uhuru Kenyatta because he had questions also regarding these judges. And when we saw the current regime really coming to take the baton, the first thing that he did, of course, was to call all those judges at State House, and they were paraded there, and we saw also that they were being absorbed into the judicial system, as it were. So when you complain about corruption, and we had also those questions that were lingering on some of these judges as well, does he appear to be double-speaking on the issue of corruption, and that's being systemic within the judiciary?
A judge is somebody who holds power also donated by the people, and it must be exercised fairly and within the law. Now, when somebody asks questions, that you see governments enjoy something called perpetual succession. You see what this government was doing, you have to be technical enough or professional enough to let the process be completed, because the Constitution has allocated different people to complete these processes. So if you clear a judge who there's overwhelming evidence against them, and even them they know it, that they have participated in corruption and have received monies, and that evidence exists, and you go on and appoint them, you now have to begin the other journey of getting them subjected to Judicial Service Commission. But in this country now, there's no proper witness protection. So I'm aware of quite a number of witnesses who have mysteriously died, and their deaths have not been demystified. So people are increasingly scared of giving evidence against corruption. And more important, when you have a corrupt government practicing corruption openly on the floor of the House and with the Parliament, and then you go on now to tell Kenyans, we will not accept corruption from judiciary, yet you put judges there without a process, then it becomes very complicated. But we really must strengthen institutions. We cannot run down a government institution. And there's no single Kenyan who is above the law, including the president. He's only protected against criminal proceedings. But Article 143, 144 doesn't shield him. If a president, for example, commits murder, he's not going to be kept there and he has committed murder or manslaughter. You'll have to be impeached and then subjected to, or forced to resign, and then subjected to the processes of law. And meanwhile, also, when you exit, all those things you did can still be revisited. So we need to leave the rule of law, to have fairness, and to have an attitude of building Kenya. President Kibaki was exceptional. As soon as he came to power, the shilling gained against the dollar, and he put systems. He knew he was part of the previous system at one point as a vice president. So he said, from wherever we are now, can we build Kenya as we correct the past? But that's not what we have seen with this government. This government comes and blames the previous government which they were part of. Then they start a few things, and I'll give a very good example. Kenya Meat Commission had gone, because of the sales to the military, there was some control, so that the military also doesn't buy from outside certain sources. And then it's first removed from the, military management is removed. Then after a few days, they do what Uhuru Kenyatta was doing. And that's what they've done in very many things, that you realize you wanted to politically depart from Uhuru Kenyatta. It was not about Uhuru Kenyatta. Our government is with so many other components and so many other participants and so many other institutions which prepare briefs. You see, the DCI prepares briefs. You must respect investigations. But if you discard the investigations and scare the investigators, then people be prosecuted for economic crimes are going to be let scot-free by the courts. If you present cases to courts which has no evidence, the courts will have no choice but to release that particular person, even when he's a criminal and even when he has benefited unfairly from government coffers. So we need to reorganize the country. We need the goodwill, and that partly comes when you change a government. Kenyans are looking for a Kibaki spirit to lead this country again.
Thank you.